Filing an immigration case is stressful enough without wondering how you're going to pay a lawyer for every single step. I know that. And I also know what happens to a file that gets put together without understanding the process. I spent years inside USCIS as an officer reviewing these types of cases. Now I create educational resources that helps applicants understand the process and better organize their own cases before they ever sit down in front of an attorney. You don't need to become an immigration expert. You just need to become educated enough to understand your own case. Immigration help is expensive, and full representation from start to finish is out of reach for many families. That leaves people feeling like they have only two choices: go it alone and hope for the best, or spending money on legal help before they even understand what questions to ask. Neither is a great position to be in. The better approach is to understand the process first, so you can make informed decisions about what you can handle yourself and when it's time to bring in an attorney. What I do sits in the middle. I help you understand the process before you spend money on it. You learn what each form is actually doing before you ever walk into the office. You understand what makes evidence strong and where cases quietly fall apart. You prepare your file knowing where each piece matters. By the time you're done, you're not an expert, and you don't need to be. You are minimally educated, which means you can look at your own case and see what's straightforward and what is not. Here's where it pays off. When your case has a real complication, a prior removal order, an entry without inspection, a criminal issue, a prior denial, a fraud or misrepresentation issue, you are going to need an attorney, and you should get one. But a lot of people can't tell if they have a real problem or just a normal case that feels scary. If that is you, you don't have to guess, and you don't have to pay for full representation to find out. A flat fee case review from a former officer gives you a specific read on where your case actually stands before you decide what to spend. And when the case clearly calls for a lawyer, you walk in already understanding your situation. So you're not paying them to teach you your own case. So here's where to start, and the first part is free. I put together a pre-filing red flag checklist that walks you through the issues that quietly sink cases, the things that officers notice first. Download it, run your own case against it, and you will already know more than most people who are filing. The link is in the description. If you want the full walkthrough, the guides are written from the officer's side of the desk in plain language. The Essential Green Card Guide covers adjustment of status inside the United States. The Consular Processing Guide covers the immigrant visa route through a consulate abroad. Both tell you what to file, what the officer is weighing, and the exact point where you should stop and call an attorney. And if you run through the checklist and you're still not sure whether your case is straightforward, that is what the case review is for. A former officer reads your situation and tells you where you stand before you spend large amounts of money. Start with the checklist, get prepared, then you can decide what you can handle yourself and when it is time to bring in an attorney. My last words on this are these: approval favors the prepared.